What is up, Tube News Nation? Bevi Hill Army, Vinyl Gang. Welcome to week 2 of the weekly vinyl uploads. Monday, 12 p.m. every day. We're going to start this shit out with a Blue Note record I found yesterday. I don't find much Blue Note, like real Blue Note records. I feel like they're just like kind of hard to come by. And there's a record that I never heard until I bought it, and it's just great. It's a live album. Volume 1 Town Hall, February 22nd, 1985 in New York City. And it's One Night with Blue Note is the name of the record. I had no clue that this existed until I saw it, and then I just saw the names here. Herbie Hancock, Freddie Hubbard, Joe Henderson, Bobby Hutcherson, James Newton, Ron Carter, and Tony Williams. Ron Carter, Herbie Hancock, Freddie Hubbard, and Joe Henderson. Goats. So I knew that this was going to be good. It is. It's a live album. It's great. Track 1 is Cantaloupe Island, which is a popular Herbie song. And it's just such a good rendition of that. Really a fan of this record. Next, we've got a record that I've been listening to ever since I was a young chap. Renee and Angela, Wall to Wall. I discovered this just in some fucking Spotify playlist. Imaginary Playmates was in there. And Imaginary Playmates is so hard. Just Friends is great. The first track is great too. But Imaginary Playmates and the bridge there is just so good. It's the reason I got this record. Yeah, I don't feel like I've heard or seen that much of this. So I was really happy to find it in store. It's the only time I've ever seen it when I picked it up. Doing our thing, Booker T and the MGs. The last track is Let's Go Get Stoned. This is one of my favorite Booker T albums. I think this is probably the second best behind Green Onions. Let's Go Get Stoned is one of the best Booker T songs. I think it's like one of the most popular songs too. Booker T and the MGs just make great funky instrumentals. Just great stuff. Great like brunch music. Just a lot of chill vibes. Next, I'm not really a huge Dead fan. In fact, this was the first time I ever heard the Grateful Dead. And I started with Working Man's Dead because I heard that a lot of people say this and American Beauty is the place to start. I just picked it up before hearing it, and I bought it, listened to it, and it's okay. It's cool. I'm not a Grateful Dead fan. There's some great songs, but I guess I gotta hear American Beauty. People say that has all the hits. I was enjoying this record though. New Speedway Boogie, Black Peter, and Casey Jones are great. But I don't know. Maybe I just don't get the Dead. I don't understand why everyone regards them so highly. I gotta listen more, I think. Maybe give it another listen. This is an original Alan Parsons project, Eye in the Sky. It's got this gold little shits going on. This record's great. Everyone knows Sirius because it's the intro for the Chicago Bulls. So, yeah, you've definitely heard that track before. And it's like the type of album where every song transitions into each other. And it's just a great listen all the way through. The title track is my favorite. And the whole, not gimmick, but the whole theme of this album is Eye in the Sky. It's about like, no matter whether it's religion, politics, etc., humans always come to this belief that someone or something is watching them. So this album is kind of speaking on that. It's great. Next, this is my favorite Jimi Hendrix, particularly Machine Gun. That is my favorite Jimi Hendrix song. It is so good. It's a live song, and it's just different. It's not like anything else that I feel like Jimmy's done, really. Like, it doesn't sound like any of his other albums. And Band of Gypsies, this is just a live album, but Machine Gun in particular, I just needed to get it because it's just So good front to back. It's totally my favorite Jimi Hendrix song. My favorite album is Axe as Bold as Love. I feel like that is better front to back than his first record, Are You Experienced, and Electric Ladyland. Although, like, obviously they're all fucking incredible. But in my opinion, prime Jimmy is live Jimmy, especially Machine Gun. I can't talk about how good that song is enough. This went on sale on Amazon. Kala by MIA. I fucks with MIA. Everyone knows Paper Planes. I fly like and get high like planes. You know what I'm saying? This shit's great. This record actually sounds amazing. It went on sale on Amazon. I got this for $18 shipped, and it's a 2 LP, 45 RPM, and it sounds amazing. Paper Planes and Come Around, the last two songs are so good. I feel like people don't give MIA her credit. She's kind of dope. Maya is a dope album that people hate on, and now, like, as time went on, people saw it as ahead of its time. It was like it got the Yeezus effect from Kanye. But yeah, MIA, give her credit. She's dope. Ooh, these were some of my favorite pickups. Can Future Days and Can Egabasami. These two, so this is my favorite Can record, but this is like probably the most accessible, best Can record to start with. Sing Swan Song, track 2, Kanye sampled on Drunken Hot Girls. You can hear this record came out in 1972, and it just has the entire Drunken Hot Girls vibe. Kanye sampled it, and not just sampled the background, but like the lyrics too. Like on this though, they say drunken hot bowls because it's Can. It's about like food. It's dope. Vitamin C is so good. I'm So Green and Sing Swan Song. Those 3 tracks are just so good. And some of Can's most accessible songs are on here. Future Days, however, is my favorite Can album. I'm becoming a huge Can fan the more I listen to these dudes. They're krautrock from Germany. And I feel like this front to back is the best Can record. Bel Air, the 20-minute song on the back end, is one of the best Can songs that exists. Moonshake, the 3-minute pop song, is just so good. It's probably, that's their second most popular song, I believe, and that's the song that really got me into these dudes. It was just like, it blew my mind. And Spray is dope with all the stereo effects, all the sounds coming in. And Future Days, the first song, is probably the song that I honestly go to the least, and it's still incredible. This album is mad underrated in my opinion. I think if anything out of this video you haven't given a listen, give this a listen. Portishead Dummy. Everybody needs Portishead Dummy in their collection. So I ordered Portishead Dummy on Discogs. Man, it was an old pressing, dude. And said it was near mint record and a very good cover. But the description mentioned a little 1-inch defect in the bottom right corner. I'm like, a 1-inch, you know, what the corner's going to be bent? That'll be fine. I'll take it. It was a good price for older pressing. It came in, and we'll put a picture on screen of what happened to this record. It was not in very good condition. And also, the actual vinyl that said it was near mint was very good minus at best. There was clicks and pops, so I would say good plus. So I was tight, dude. So I gave Home Slice a bad review. And Discogs, for some reason, lets the seller review the buyer after they gave a review. And it shows them the review. So what any seller does, or what particularly the guy who did this shit to me does, and every seller that I've ever given a negative review does, is after you leave a review, they wait for you to leave a review, and then they'll either give you a positive or they will just destroy you and give you a negative review, even if you have legitimate feedback and criticism. Like if the record is completely destroyed this much and Homeboy says it was 1 inch. and the vinyl is not near mint. So I left him a negative review. He comes back with a negative review. Boom! I got 15 reviews, and Homeboy has 300,000. So my negative review does nothing to him, and the review that he gives me put my shit down so low, even though that I don't even know how you review a buyer. If I send you the money, it's a good, like, I don't know what a buyer review's purpose even fucking is. But yeah, tanks my shit. I can't even buy from certain people right now. We'll put his name on screen. Fuck this guy. No one buy from him, man. Fuck you if you're watching, man. Dick. I argue with him too. It might be a little vulgar, but I'll choose a couple screenshots that aren't, so you can see what I said to him. Fuck that guy, man. So these two are the two best pickups of this week. And that's why I saved them for last. I'm going to go with the probably 2-1. So this is my second best, and the next one is my best. Just because when I saw that in store, I was like, my jaw dropped. This, however, is Faces by Mac Miller, the official version, not the bootleg. There's bootlegs going around everywhere of this, but the bootlegs aren't like, it's bootleg quality. These are great quality, and it has the bonus track, that they released only on the studio version of Faces that just dropped. I think it dropped in like 2020, 2021, but they just pressed this vinyl. And this is my favorite Mac Miller album. I think that this is his best album. It's probably cliche to even say that shit at this point. I feel like everyone credits this to be his best. But oh my God, it's so good. Rap Diablo, like he just, so many good New Faces, Polo Jeans. Like, so I got into Mac Miller from my love of Earl Sweatshirt. So I started with Polo Jeans. That's where I started with Mac Miller. And I just needed this. Like, this shit skyrocketed me into a Mac Miller fan when I heard this. I was just listening to it at work one day, and I like do landscaping, so I was just chilling in the nature, listening to Faces, and it just hit so good on my first listen. I went into a store, a local store by me. If you're in Philly, you'll know Repo Records, and they had it, and they also had it with Ween painting the town brown. And I was like, I'm not getting both. I'm going to get Ween painting the town brown because I feel like Ween painting the town brown is going to sell out way quicker than this. So I got that, immediately regretted it. This sold out like the 2 days after. You couldn't get it anywhere. And then Ween painting the town brown is still in store. I love that album, but I just wish I got this because I could have gotten Ween fucking anytime. Apparently, I thought that shit was going to sell out. So I had to get it resale. But I honestly got a good deal on it. I was convinced I was never going to get it because it was just ridiculous. I'm not paying like $100 for this. But someone put it up for $60 unopened near mint. So I bought it. Shipping made it like 70, but that was like only $10, $20 more than I would have got it in store. So yeah, fantastic. Mac Miller's best in my opinion. Now this was my favorite pickup of the week. I was baffled when I saw this in the store. Nick Drake, 5 Leaves Left. I feel like I've been looking for a Nick Drake album in real life for maybe half a year when I first heard Pink Moon, and I never found it, ever. So my first time ever seeing a Nick Drake album in store, this was paired with Bird or Lauder and Pink Moon, all original pressing. So I was like, fuck. I needed to pick which one to get. And I ended up getting 5 Leaves Left, the original pressing. It was $75. It was the cheapest out of all of them. And I got it not only because it was the cheapest, but because it is my favorite Nick Drake album. I feel like he went ballistic on this shit. And no one talks about this one. Everyone talks about Pink Moon. Because it doesn't have any of his most popular songs. But Riverman is my favorite Nick Drake song. Saturday Sun, cello song, 3 hours and Time Has Told Me. The first 3 tracks, a 3-track run that starts this album, are my 3 favorite Nick Drake songs. Homeboy had a whole string section on this shit. For anybody who doesn't know the story of Nick Drake, This album dropped in 1969. His second album dropped in 1970, and his final album dropped in 1972. And he died quickly later that year of a drug overdose. It was his antidepressants. When he dropped his first album, it didn't get very good reception, and only worse reception with his second album and third album. And he was just a mad sensitive dude. So people call him the Van Gogh of music because no one actually was a Nick Drake fan when he was alive. He only got recognition and fame 20 years after he died, which is just super, super depressing because he is a fantastic singer-songwriter and he totally deserved respect. Honestly, the reason that no one fucked with him at the time is because this dude was so ahead of his time. Like, you hear him, I don't know about you guys, but I hear him in like Kurt Cobain. I hear him in a lot of 90s guys, and I feel like if he came out in the 90s, he would have been huge. He was just too early and too ahead of his time, which is a super sad story. But this is my favorite record personally. Whole string section on the shit. It's just incredible, front to back. I totally have favorite tracks, as I mentioned the first three. The 3-track run's incredible, but it's a great listen front to back. And that is the last pickup. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace.